everyone. It's MJ, and you are going to experience the most chill, the most fun booktube hangout office party that's going to be going on booktube. I kind of sent out a little, invitation to some of my friends, and I said, hey, if we have some time to burn, why don't we all just get together and hang out for a little bit over the holiday? And a lot of people said yes. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much if you're watching on the replay and you weren't able to be here live. It's going to be very relaxed. We're just going to have some holiday chit chat, and we'll be catching up with a lot of you in the comments. So let's check out to see who is backstage. Let's see. I see Roy Reads Anything. How are you, Roy?
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Wonderful. I've got Dave and Olive from Book Blather. Hi, Dave and Olive.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Ms. Courtney's here from Tangible Reads.
Hello.
What's going on, girl?
Hello. How y'all doing?
Good. We've got Alan from Big Hard Books and Classics. What's going on, Alan? We've got Ollie from Criminali. Hey, buddy. What's happening?
Hey.
Here's my brother from another mother, Gareth. What's happening, bro? What's happening?
Cheers. Hello.
Cheers. Celeste is here.
Hey.
What's going on, girl? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. And we've got Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads.
Hello.
Wow. There's a lot of people here. This is so great. Well, thanks everybody for taking time out of your holiday schedule just to hang out and chill. This is going to be like the best office party you've ever had. Because we all are kind of like coworkers, right? In a little way.
Kind of, yeah.
This would be the most sober office party ever.
There you go. So how this is going to go is we're just going to like start a topic and just chit chat a little bit. But before we get started, how is everyone doing today?
I'm good.
Good?
Good day. That's always a plus.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Right,
How was everyone's holiday?
Relaxed.
Good.
Been great. Lots of family, lots of reading. So
Fantastic.
good holiday week.
Fantastic. So let's see. We've got Zap is saying good morning to all of us. Coda is here, and Coda is helping me out. He's going to be a moderator in the comment section for me. We've got Mick is here. Erie says it looks like the Hollywood Squares. I want to agree. I think it does look like the Hollywood Squares.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Nadine is here. Jack is here. Oh, this is okay. Everyone's here and no one's nude. Officially the most professional Zoom call ever. All
Well, you're
stars.
only seeing us from the waist up, so
That's it. Nobody stand up.
True.
Nobody stand up. All right. All right. Alan, I think your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. There you go. Hi, Alan.
Oh, it was, yes.
Now I got
Hello.
you. So how's everything going? Good? All right. So let's get started. Let's get started talking about how your 2023 has been. Everybody, let's just go around and give like a highlight or two from your 2023. What stands out for you from this year? What's like a major thing that you always are going to be reflecting on?
Wow.
That's interesting. Let's see. Who's going first?
I'll go first. And I think the community as a whole really came together in May, and I'm not going to dwell on it, but I think that for me was one of the most bittersweet moments I've ever experienced on this platform. The way a lot of us got together, the way we comforted each other, the way we were able to share and process our feelings, and the way we were also able to embrace and celebrate someone's memory.
That's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to go next, just put your hand up. It might be easier that way.
I'll chime in on that if it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because that's something I've been feeling ever since the end of May. I felt like I really become, and I did a post about this where like it was kind of a bittersweet thing because it was so devastating for a lot of us.
Yeah.
But it had the silver lining that I definitely felt closer to other people in the community after that. And I definitely got a lot closer to certain people that were having a difficult time with it as well. So yeah, I mean, a little silver lining in everything, and there was in that for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, she brought us together.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's cool people.
All right. How about something else that happened in 2023 that stood out for you?
Well, I'm not gonna say specifics, but
You
I
can.
had an incident that showed me a very negative side of BookTube. So it allows me to be a little bit more selective about the people that I choose to communicate with and be in my circle.
Okay.
And that's not always a bad thing, you know,
Correct.
but you know,
Mhm.
I think there's goods and bad sides of BookTube, but overall it's been a positive experience.
Good. Fantastic. How about Alan? You got anything from 2023 that stands out for you?
Oh, geez. Oh, man, I've had a most excellent year, starting with reading War and Peace, which I'm going to be rereading next month again. And then my father visited from Arizona. He's been up here several times, but I hadn't seen him in a couple years.
Yeah.
Then I went out to Fredericksburg, Virginia, and visited my buddy Greg over there. And him and Chris showed me an excellent time. We visited many Civil War sites, Edgar Allan Poe, etc. Did a couple good tags that are getting even hit today. And then, God, what else? My birthday is like around December 27th. That was good.
Happy belated.
Still going. And, busted. I'll be finished with this in like a day or two. The Brothers K. So I had a great reading year too.
Awesome.
Due to like criminality and his read what you own challenge.
There you go. Ollie, you're next. I'm just going to be the teacher and pick on the students. How's that? That might be easier. Ollie, how was your 2023? What are some highlights for you?
So I think it's been fantastic. I've really continued to enjoy doing this and interacting with all of you and people in the comments as well. And looking back at the year, it feels like, and maybe this is just because of the length of time I've been doing BookTube for, but when I look at all of you, I think most of you have been doing it for a similar amount of time to me. Some of you a bit longer, some of you a bit shorter. But it really feels like we've got a very solid community that continues to change and evolve, but still always has that community feeling. New people come in, sometimes people leave. It feels to me like less people have left this year than maybe did in the previous year. You always get some people who drop out, who just stop making videos for whatever reason, but it feels like maybe that's happened a bit less this year than it did the year before.
I
it's great. It's fantastic, seeing people in the comments, watching other people's videos and just feeling like part of something bigger. And I think, what happened with PAX probably contributed to that sense of community, as you said, MJ. But I think it's more than just that. It really feels like we have got a community here that's quite solid, and that's brilliant.
I agree. Go ahead.
I wanted to add to that and say that I think I've noticed a lot of people have been inspired to make their own BookTube channels as well.
Yeah.
And that seems to have been it seems to be more doing that and commenting on the fact that they've been doing it because of watching us lot. And that's been really cool.
For sure.
So that's been a nice addition to it. So that kind of like relates to what Ollie was saying then,
Yeah.
Shall I say a few highlights for me
Well, you have the microphone. Go ahead.
So the second Gov August was huge, wasn't it? There was how many hosts was it, Ollie?
I can't even remember. It was like 25, I think, or something like that.
And I didn't buy all of them, but I had 57 books to choose from. Some I already had and some I bought for it. I just bought so many, it was ridiculous. So yeah, I tried to get well involved in that. So that was a good fun. And this year for me, I don't know how many of you guys were involved in it, but I was a co-host for the Historathon, so that was a big thing for me because I kind of left history books for a while. So going back into that was quite a big change. So that was a good change. It was a change. So I'm doing that again next year, so that'll be good. And I wanted to mention the song tag because loads of people did that. It was well good. There's been over 50 people doing that.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So it's nice to hear people's music taste, you know. So
Cool.
people got behind that.
All right.
But yeah,
Well,
a few things there.
great. Anything else you want to add?
No.
No? Okay. Celeste, I'm going to put you on the spot. How was your 2023?
Oh gosh, so much. I don't even know where to start. I think the first thing that came to mind was, so I got my bachelor's this year.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. And so I was thinking about the 27 Club, first of all, because I did the tag because I turned 27 this year too.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I hope I don't become suspiciously good at anything before my next birthday, but no, but I was thinking, I realized this year that Jim Morrison is my lucky charm because on the same day I found out I had I got my bachelor's. I had this job interview and the location was right next to Jim Morrison's tomb in Paris.
Oh, wow.
And I got the job. So
cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what happened. And then I think that's the highlight of the year. I think I kind of slowed down with BookTube too, because, you know, being a student doing work is just a lot, really time consuming, but hoping next year I'll do more BookTube or more consistently anyway.
Cool. Okay. And a highlight for me was meeting you in Paris. That was a lot of fun.
That too. That was so fun.
That was a lot of fun.
You should really come back.
I will, but my husband won't come back unless like the bedbug situation is resolved.
Oh, yeah, I think that was really blown out of proportion, honestly.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because he saw that and he's like, we are not going back to
Get him
Paris.
off me.
Well, you can go and stay outside of Paris. There
Yeah.
are a lot of really cool places outside of Paris.
You know I'll be hitting you up. All right, Greg, how about your 2023? Let's talk.
All right. Well, this will be going on to my third year in May.
Nice.
And I think it's just all of a sudden I've just settled down into a real routine on BookTube. You know, the first years, am I going to continue this? Should I just drop out?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's become just part of my life. And it's like I tell my wife, like, you know, most of my friends are on the internet somewhere. That you don't get to see them that often. I mean, I've only met 2 booktubers in real life, so that's where I'm going. Is the realization, okay? And my channel is, you know, it's not huge, but it's okay. And that's
It's comfortable, cozy. That's what I like to say.
yeah. So it's you know, I'll be at 2,000 probably by the mid of the year or something like that.
Nice.
So I'm fine.
Cool.
Highlights, you know. It's kind of interesting. I have not read any new blow me out of the water books recently. You know, it's like I'm going back to my old favorites and rereads.
Yeah.
And I'm really trying to find that, you know, really great new book that just blows you out of the water. And haven't quite found it yet for a while, but who knows?
Maybe
highlight
2024. Maybe 2024 will be the year for you.
Might be. My highlight is how popular my A to Z bookish tag became. It was like, that was like insane how many people did that one.
That's awesome.
That was a fun
great
tag.
tag.
It was a good one. Yeah.
Sweet.
And that's it for my year.
All right. Roy reads anything. How about your year?
Well, I'd say Garb August as well, because it's the first time I was a co-host of anything, and it was a really great event and really enjoyed getting involved and doing the weeks and the prompts and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So this is, I've been doing BookTube about 18 months now. And
Has it been that long? Wow.
Yeah, started the previous summer.
Yeah.
It's a bit I'm a sort of earlier phase than what Greg's been describing, where I'm still sort of trying new things and dropping some other things. But generally, I basically made a decision that I'll just do what I want, rather than sort of do the prescribed things. I mean, I do loads of things that are completely wrong, and some of them turn out to be the things that people really like. So just sort of forge ahead. But yeah, made some new friends and probably deepened relationships with existing friends. So that's been really cool.
For sure.
Yeah, good stuff.
Awesome. So we got everybody with their 2023 highlights, right? All right, cool. Now let's switch it over.
Gareth is raising his hand.
Gareth,
MJ, sorry, I know I've already said my piece, but I didn't mention the fact that we met, MJ. We met, which was amazing. So we had a day in London. It was fantastic. So I feel like that was criminal not mentioning that, because that was so amazing. And that was the most important moment in my life, MJ.
No, not at all. But that's like an underwritten like that's a cool thing we did, man. All right, so let's go into how about this? Let's do something different. So one of my highlights of this year is going to see Keanu Reeves's band and talking to him and getting a book recommendation from him. And when I read that book, I'm going to share it with everybody what it is that he told me to read. So if you were in a conversation with a celebrity, what book would you tell them to read? Number one, who is the celebrity? And number two, who's the book? What's the book?
Wow.
Take your time and dwell on it. If you know, raise your hand and we'll call on you. Who's your celebrity and what do you want them to read? And it could be living, or if you're going to travel back in time, you can do that too.
Guys, this is harder than Celebrity Squares, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does Gareth count as a celebrity?
Sure.
Yes.
And
sure. I don't.
Then I would pick Gareth, and I would tell him to read Cage of Souls, because I've been waiting to buddy read with him for almost a year.
Is that a friendly?
Yeah. If that was a bad move. Yeah. Well, I've got it upstairs. I'm going to read it, Dave. What's the matter with you? I'm going to read it.
All right. So who's ready? Who's ready?
I've got one.
Who's your celebrity, and what are they going to read?
So my celebrity is Kenneth Branagh, purely because we've watched a couple of the Poirot movies during the Christmas period and enjoyed both of them. And I would get him to read the 87th Precinct series by Ed McBain, the greatest book series of all time, as I never tire of saying. And then he could start adapting them. And there's 55 of them, so it would keep him busy for the rest of his career.
Could he star in one? Could he star in it or no?
Yeah, he could be. He couldn't. I'm trying to think who he could be. He could maybe be like the captain or something like that.
Okay.
At the precinct. Who's called Burns, I think, if I remember right.
Nice. So he would have to read the whole series, not just one book.
He'd have to read the whole series.
Okay.
But they're only short, so.
Who else has an answer to that question?
I don't know. I'll throw out a book and a celebrity. I don't know if it exactly fits, but it's one book I really enjoyed. And so I would say Taraji P. Henson, who I read her memoir, good book. Mm-hmm. I would have her read I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast Is Me, because the main character was really kind of cutthroat, and I think that Taraji P. Henson could be cutthroat too.
Nice. I like that. All right. Anybody else?
Well, I have a book to recommend, but I don't know who to recommend it to.
Well, maybe we can help with that. I lost somebody. I don't know who dropped out. I lost someone.
I think that was Alan.
Alan.
Yeah,
okay.
He has issues.
I know.
I actually think I want to recommend A Confederacy of Dunces. And I love there's a couple of politicians out there that I would like are a little too uptight in this world.
Okay.
Just blanket all the politicians with that book. How about that? Just all of them.
Yeah.
You could.
Can we do politicians around the world and just make it like one big kumbaya?
It could.
Yeah.
That might be a good thing.
Get all the politicians in the world in one room. What are we going to do with them?
Kick them off the planet.
Like I was thinking, give it to Chris Christie.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have their celebrity in their book? If not, we can move on. Go ahead.
I have a
So-
book with a celebrity.
Oh, go on. Go on,
Oh, you
Celeste.
Oh no. I would want to recommend Silence of the Lambs to anyone. But I don't know, because the character building is so good. Like, plot aside, just the way you get Cannibal, like, or he gets in your head is just incredible.
Nice.
So,
Love
and
that.
he's much more cruel, right, in the book than in the movie, which I think is just
Good to know.
Oh, you haven't read the book yet?
No, I've never read it.
So good. He is different in the movie.
I'm
You
sure.
know,
Yeah, I think they.
I don't wanna
think
give
they did him a
anything away.
disservice in the movie. They turned him into too likable a character, and the series ended up going in a completely different direction because of that.
Yeah, I think they played on kind of the engaging aspect of a psychopath, maybe, or the charismatic, lovable, maybe. I don't know.
now,
But in
see,
the book, you don't.
I
really-
read that when I was in university, and I was supposed to be reading other books for my classes, and I was digging through Silence of the Lambs because I loved it so much.
Mm.
But my one question is for people who've read the other book. I only read Hannibal, which came out like 15 years after Silence of the Lambs, something like that. And I just got the impression that Thomas Harris really wasn't into that book very much. It was like his publisher was going, give us another Hannibal book. Give us another Hannibal book. And he said, okay, I'm going to end it here.
Yeah.
But he didn't end it. He did a prequel, but I never read the prequel.
He checked.
I don't
I
know.
think I've read the prequel as well, and you get the same sense from that.
Mm.
I get the impression he really enjoyed writing Black Sunday, his first book, and Red Dragon, and
Mhm.
Silence of the Lambs, and then he's just he's struggled since then. Because what was the other one he released? Carrie Mora, was it called?
Yeah, he heard about
Yeah,
it, but
Terry Mora.
it
Yeah,
just
it
died.
was okay, but it just didn't really hang together.
Well, I had a
Yeah, I read
college
that.
professor who said some authors only have a certain number of books in them. And a good author knows when to quit and not write anymore.
Yeah, true.
And he mentioned E.M. Forster as those are the books he had in him, and that he didn't write anymore. And like Thomas Harris, like I think he was really done with Silence of the Lambs. And
Mhm.
maybe it's the fame that just struck him and say, like, how do I outlive this?
Yeah, good point.
I
All
would
right.
tell Oprah to stop recommending long books. That's what I would say.
Are we talking like 500, 600, 700, 800, 1,000 pages?
Yeah, I'm like, why? Like the Covenant of Water. I don't know why people keep talking about that book. So long.
I've got one. So I'm gonna choose a director to adapt a book. So Neil Blomkamp is an amazing director who directed District 9 and Chappie and Elysium.
Okay.
District 9, I think, is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So I'd like him to read Sea of Rust and Day Zero, which is like Day Zero is like a prequel of Sea of Rust, which is like a robot apocalypse thing. And he'd just do an amazing job if he liked it. And he would like it because it's amazing. And it'd be really good if he filmed those because he'd do a good job. He's brilliant. So Neil Blomkamp, Sea of Rust.
Cool. All right. Anybody else want to chime in? Go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, I quite like the idea of because I was thinking I can't think of any celebrities I'd actually want to meet, but the idea of a film director who might take and run with something that they would make you think they'd make a really good job of. So if they can be throughout time, I'd go for Orson Welles, and I'd hit him up with some of the more recent Batman graphic novels like Dark Knight Returns and that kind of thing, and see if he would be interested in doing an Orson Welles Batman film.
Oh, I like that idea.
That's awesome.
That's really good. Nice.
Oh, I need to bring him back to life.
Well, yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Mhm. Brilliant. All right.
Yeah, I think I've
Go ahead.
got one.
Yeah,
I think
go
I've got
ahead.
one. I think I would probably people are I'm always talking about the science fiction series, the Children of Time series, which is 3 books now, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And they visit a number of different worlds in those books, very different types, and meet very different types of entities. And so I think I would like to give that series of books to Patrick Stewart, so he could do a series of episodes where he takes a Starship Enterprise to go and visit those worlds.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I'd like to see that on the screen.
It would be
Very-
nice to meet Patrick Stewart, wouldn't it? Just in general.
Oh yeah,
How cool would that be?
Yeah, I think he'd be lovely.
He seems like a nice guy.
he'd probably be an incredible person to have dinner with. I mean, he just
Mhm.
He has a new memoir out too. Big,
Yeah.
but I've always enjoyed him.
yeah. I'm gonna be picking up that memoir.
Sweet. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else want to chime in on that topic? If not, we'll move on. No, we're good. All right.
Mhm.
So, what is going to be your first read of 2024? Do you know yet? Do you have something picked out? Are you going to continue with something that you're already reading, or are you starting brand new year with a brand new book? Alan's got his War and Peace ready to go.
Mm.
So I've got
You're
a
pretty
book which
tabbed
is in my January TBR, but I've
Yeah.
already started it because I needed an audiobook to listen to, and that's The Forgetting Moon by Brian Lee Durfee of BookTube fame.
Mm.
Which, despite being fantasy, I'm really enjoying so far. I've got a record of saying I don't like fantasy, but actually I'm enjoying this one.
I listened to the audiobook of Forgetting Moon, and again, I'm like, I don't normally like fantasy, but I really enjoyed that book.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it, but there are 2 things that happen at the end of that book, which say he did that. And I won't say, but then there's something happens to a character that you're just really not expecting, but that's okay. That's not a spoil. And then there's one little neat twist, and I'm just giggling at that twist. And I have to get back to the second one. So I may try to squeeze that in January, just because I got the BookTube prize coming up in February, and that's just gonna overtake me, my reading and audiobooks for a while.
For sure. Anyone else know what they're going to be reading in 2024? Go ahead.
I do.
It's,
First
I
one.
would say, oh, go on, Celeste.
Oh no,
Celeste,
no, no.
Celeste, Gareth, and Courtney. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I got one book for Christmas, which is, I don't know if you can see it, Alulaka.
Yeah.
It's in French, but my mom's godchild wrote it, so I look forward to reading it. It's loosely inspired by her life, and it's about a girl who goes back to China to, I think, investigate or find out more about her culture after her mom died or something along those lines.
Okay.
So sounds really interesting.
Sounds good. All right, Gareth, what do you got?
So yeah, I'm probably going to start Cage of Souls.
Are we doing that in January?
Surprise!
Well, we can chat about that. So maybe, and then if not, I want to start Chain Gang All Stars as well, because that's had a lot of good press, and I've read the first one that you wrote, so that's really good. And then I still haven't read Project Hail Mary as well, which is ridiculous. So,
That is ridiculous.
yeah.
Two
Those
years
are the
late on that one.
Yeah.
Say again,
All right.
Courtney?
I say you're 2 years late. That was wasn't that like one of your first buddy reads, MJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people were hesitant about it, and a lot of people came out saying, I loved it. Yeah. All right. Courtney,
Yeah,
what
I
are you
was
reading in
expecting
2024?
Well, I am currently reading. I'm looking around like I have the book here, and I don't know where I deal with it. But anyway, I'm currently reading a book called The Loyal Wife, and I know that's going to go into January because I've barely been reading it. So that is what I'll be reading. Part of Boot Camp Readathon.
Yeah, that's happening in January, right?
The first book, yes.
Cool. All right. Anybody else want to share their first read of 2024? If not, we'll go right into 2024 events.
I think.
So go ahead, Roy.
Oh, you sure? I think Meddling Kids, because I'm doing
Oh,
the
I've
body
read
read
that
with
book.
you.
Yeah, we're doing a buddy read on that for sure. I already downloaded it
I
from the
really like
library.
that book.
Good.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's
It's
fun.
fun. Go ahead, Dave.
So I have a couple to do right away because I had started, December. I only did Christmas stuff, so I started Dracula right before December started. So I set it down to read my Christmas stuff. So picking that back up on January 1st, and then I got 2 buddy reads in the beginning of January. So it's basically when they tell me to start, which is buddy reading. So Gareth's doing this Winter of Wyndham. So Scott from the Bookish Bryants and I are going to be reading what most people call the Chrysalids, but I'm getting the US version, which is actually called Rebirth.
Okay.
And then I've been buddy reading the Tarzan series with Dia over at Novel Idea. And so we're going to be starting the 5th book, The Jewels of Opar, in January. So
Cool.
those are my immediate reads.
Awesome. All right. And I'm still on 4th Wing. I think I'm going to finish it today. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to roll into the second one. I have an audiobook I'm reading. I'm doing a Jada Pinkett Smith's Worthy. That's a buddy read I'm doing, which is really, really good. So I think I want to finish that this weekend. So I honestly don't know what I'm going to leave it as a mood reader surprise. I don't know what's going to be my first book.
Are you doing the audio for Worthy?
Yeah, and it's good. She reads
Very
it.
good.
Really good.
MJ?
I'm sorry?
About my first book. I was replying to Ollie, but there's one book I think I'm going to read on January 1st.
Okay.
I always like to read a book start to finish on the first day of the year. Just so you can say, I've got the first book done.
Yeah.
And I am going to be reading a book of poetry.
Oh, I love that.
By someone we know who is in this video right now.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
I think I can knock that out on January 1st.
Yeah, it's not very long. That's awesome.
Ah,
And
I have one of your books. Maybe I'll do the same. Which one do you have?
What, Voices of the City?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I have
All
it
right,
too.
January 1st.
January 1st. We'll just plow right through it. Yay. That'll be my first buddy read.
And get the Kobo clean out one of those slots day one.
There you go. There you go. We lost Alan. Alan keeps getting booted off T-Mobile at the end of the month. All right. Let's just check in with some people. We're ignoring a lot, but we're having a good time. Everybody having a good time?
It is
Good
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
Party so far, right? All right. So let's see. Joanna popped in. She said, can't stick around, but hope you're all enjoying your final reads of the year. Happy holidays. Leslie's here. Fiber Artsy's here. Brian says, hello. Y'all look like the Brady Bunch intro. Hopefully more unpleasant and foul-mouthed. That's right. I don't know. I kind of like the Brady Bunch instead of Hollywood Squares. Everybody's feeling the love. Mark and Elvis, blimey, it's a booktube who's who of Veritable Rogues Gallery. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Erie said, me to a celebrity would be Brad Pitt. Take a bath. My tips for keeping
Oh,
And I just tell you, this morning I just learned that Brad Pitt is 60, and it blew my mind.
Wow.
He does
Yeah.
not look 60. Wow.
No.
Good for him.
That is weird. That is weird.
Yeah. Mystery Jim is
Money
here.
and filters.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Jim.
Are we all going to do impressions of Jim's voice? No. Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be like how Jim has books, and stuff. It's going to be the other Jim, where you have to lean into your microphone. Oh, let's see. Writing an anthology, Kyle Herschel, about cat people controlling the rich and powerful through market monopolies. That sounds interesting.
Wow.
A lot of people
Cat
saying
people
hello to
controlling-
each other. Enjoyed Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal. Don Winslow's last book comes out this year. I guess he thought he should quit. See, Gore Vidal. If Harris had only written Silence of the Lambs, the mystery behind the characters would only have been enhanced over time. A little mystery goes a long way. Let's see. Studio in the Library says celebrity would be David Lean to read Sweep a Girl and Her Monster by Jonathan Auxier and make a movie out of it like Oliver. Cool. Read Becca is here. Let's see. Gore Vidal. Wells doing Frank Miller book. Now that would be interesting. Sydney Sebastian's here. I'm one book away from 100 books in a year. That is double my goal and double the amount I've read in the last 3 years. 50 on average. That's fantastic.
Awesome.
And I wonder if BookTube is the secret sauce in that formula. I don't know. What do you guys think? Since you've started BookTube, has your reading increased over time?
Yes.
Absolutely.
But I
Definitely.
also retired.
Okay.
And that retiring really helps people to read more.
I think the quality has also been better. That's my big thing. Like it's definitely increased, but the quality has been much more enjoyable.
Now,
Yeah.
that's interesting because when I was working, I used to read a lot more literary high-class fiction. And since joining BookTube and following another BookTuber, I've been reading a lot more trashy books. You know?
Your quality's gone up as well, then, Greg.
Love that. All right. Let's see. So lot of. Let's see. Jim says Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp are both 60. Keanu is 60 next year. He is one day older than me. Yeah, we know. My
I
goodness.
turn
My
60
goodness.
next year, so I feel their pain.
Ooh, we could have a BookTube birthday then. All right.
MJ, you said you met Keanu Reeves, right?
I
Does
did.
he look like, you know how celebrities, you know, they have all these little filters and movies and all this other stuff. Does he look like his, you know, in
Okay, so here's the tea on Keanu, right? Is that my husband is 6'3" and about 145 pounds, 150 pounds. He's built like Tommy Lee. Okay. So Keanu is about 6'2", shorter than I thought he would be, and skinnier than my husband. He needs a sandwich. He needs a sandwich. Yes.
Does he have that lamp too?
Does he have what?
That lamp. You know, they try to hide like medical issues. He has that little cool daddy lamp.
Yeah. Well, he has. I caught him off guard when I asked him a book question, and he actually did like a Bill and Ted, like, no. He's like, I have to think of a book, and I'm like, yeah, and the author. He's like, oh, and he's trying to think of it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is my life real right now? Like Neo is trying to give me a book to read, you know? But yeah, I was surprised. I thought he would be taller. I had heels on, and I was taller than him, and I was like, oh, like never meet your idols in real life.
I'm 5'4", so as long as he's taller than me, I'd be like, you're good.
Yeah, but for his age, doesn't look 59 whatsoever. Not at all. Yeah.
He seems like a nice guy in the interviews that I've seen. Like he seems quite down to earth and kind of relaxed. And
Totally nice. Yeah, he would want to hang out and talk more, but the security people are like, let's go. Like they're managing him. Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to get him and what's the other guy, Jason Mimosa, together, because they both seem like they kind of got that type personality.
I'd be totally into that. Yep, I would not complain about that.
My daughter met Jason Momoa briefly, and she said that he was really lovely. Obviously, he could have been performing, you know, as in like in the interview, you know, like in a band kind of way. But yeah, she said that he was really lovely. So, Jason Momoa.
Love that. All right, let's see. Crystal says, I think I'm going to start the year with The Reformatory by Tenerife Dew. Coda says Cano is exactly 20 years older than me to the day. I'm born 6 days before my mom. Mick says the twist is that Garrett's book of poetry is sick haikus and a dirty limerick. I don't think that's true.
Start to the year.
Uh-oh, Ollie's fan club is here, and Ollie is answering back to his fan club. Awesome. All right, let's see. Let's talk about 2024 events. January. What's going on in January? We've got the Kindle clean out, right? For the e-readers, the Kindle Kobo clean out. Courtney has her event going on. What else is going on? What's everybody else participating in?
That's the Kindle Kobo is the only January event that I'm participating in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of a light month where I get to read whatever I really want to. Or
yeah. Courtney's event, the boot camp, also has one of their prompts is for a banned book. So over at my Patreon, we're gonna do I Know the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. That's gonna be our book in January. So that's gonna tick off one of your boxes for your event, Courtney.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is gonna be good.
Yeah,
how about definitely banned books, but I have no set book that I'm gonna read yet. Probably Fahrenheit 451, just because that's like the big classic of banned books.
Mm-hmm. I have to read that too. I've never read it.
I have to do that in the right order because I'm doing my Ray Bradbury thing, so that would be probably book 7 or 8, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll probably read that in maybe February or something, February or March. But yeah, I ought to read a banned book in January as well because you got to read 2 a month, really, don't you, to keep it like 24 in 24. So
yeah, but I mean, you don't have to. And the interesting thing is that a lot of the books that I want to read this year, like I didn't realize half of them are already banned. So banned or challenged. So it's gonna be easier than I thought it was going to be. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I had this on my shelves already. This was what 2016 or 17 book. So
yeah,
I'm gonna do the boot camp, combining that with kind of read what you own type thing. So combining everything together and the banned book. So start early.
That's it. Wonderful. What other events is everybody looking forward to? How about March of the Mammoths?
Yep. I'm doing Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts as a buddy read with Alan.
Okay. He's been trying to get you to read that for a while, right?
I've read that book title like twice before. He's always said, "Let's do Shantaram."
Awesome. I think I'm going to start Jerusalem. I'm starting it in January, but I told myself I'm only going to do like 10 pages a day, and I'm just going to see how long it takes me because that sucker is just massive. I have the Kindle, but I know it's like 1,000 pages. And
the wrist breaker and hardcover.
Yeah. And then we're going to do the other Alan Moore in like April or May, right? The From Hell.
From Hell.
Yeah. So that's going to be good.
Oh, right. Get the audiobook of Jerusalem. It's Simon Vance.
I love Simon.
No. The other Simon. Who's the other Simon? There's two very famous audiobooks with Simon.
Okay.
He does a magnificent job in that. There is one chapter. It's not a spoiler about James Joyce's sister or something, and it's written in an invented language.
Ooh.
And you're listening to it, and it really, I mean, you can understand it. So, wait a second, that's not quite English.
Okay.
But he does such a fantastic job narrating that.
I just think Alan Moore is fascinating. I don't know what it is about him, but every time like I see his picture, every time that somebody mentions his book, I'm like, I need to read him. Like I just need to. We have a question. Here we go. Cam C, what's a book you would recommend to suggest to a friend who says they are not going to read anything horror? They think it's only about blood and guts, and it's not. So what would you recommend to someone for entry-level horror that's good?
That's not blood and guts.
Not blood and guts. Shirley Jackson?
I was thinking Shirley Jackson.
Jackson.
How about something more modern? We've all read a ton of books this year.
I know.
Yeah.
There's so many different levels to horror.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think that one possession novel, Come Closer by Sarah Grant, is perfect for entry level because
Yeah.
you don't know if it's mental health and you don't know if it's something demonic. Like you're just not sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that's a
really good.
Yeah, it's a good
Another
chat.
one that's pretty good that really gets into like cosmic horror.
Mhm.
Is The Fisherman by John Langan,
Mm.
because it has that. It starts off with just a man grieving for the loss of his wife,
Mhm.
and how essentially that fishing helps him overcome that grief. And then it builds on that, so that could bring people in, and then it really brings in the horror element very well. But it's not ultra gruesome.
Mhm.
I mean, there's some intense scenes, but Ollie, I think you read it, but
Yeah.
I don't remember anything really bloody or body.
No, I
parts
agree.
on
Yeah,
it.
it's more kind of atmosphere than
Yeah.
graphic stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, that
Good.
is a good suggestion.
Well, I read Grady Hendrix for the first time this year, and I read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and that's not that gory, and I think it's really, really compelling. So I think anyone would probably, if they're not used to horror, would still like the characters and get into the story, I reckon. So
Pretty violent though in a spot or two.
yeah, there's like two big moments. There's obviously the big finale, which gets really violent, and there's a bit towards the middle, I think. But I think a lot of it is dialogue and character stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Another one just popped up in my head. They're gonna do it now. A good winter. What I thought was a good winter psychological one was a book called Mind of Winter
Hmm.
by get her full name. I think the last name was Kasichki, maybe Laura Kasichki or Sarah Kasichki. But that's all about. It's all a psychological thing about a woman and her daughter wake up and Christmas Day and they're stuck in their house because of a blizzard, and but there's no violence really, but it's very mysterious and intense.
Spooky. Cool.
Yeah.
And the Bookish Bryants are here. They say hello, all. It's lovely to see them back on the booktubes.
Yes.
Let's see. We've got good morning, booktubers. I'm pretty new here. Good to meet you all. I'm a poet from near Boston, Mass. My first book of 2024 will be Gentleman Practice by Buddy Wakefield, which was published in 2011. Well, thank you.
Cool.
Faye's Discovery, Endurance by Jack Kilbourne is a good horror novel. Has anyone read that?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
I've read something by that author. It's just like 10 more years. So you know how memory just
Fades.
And I read so much,
It all blends.
It does.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you? I didn't suggest it, but do you think I Am Legend is right for entry level horror, or do you think it's you got to read a bit?
Think about saying I Am Legend. I mean, that crosses like, is it science fiction or is it horror?
Oh, it's definitely horror, I think, because it's all about vampires, isn't it?
But they're not supernatural vampires, as I remember.
No, but it's a science fiction horror. Yeah, you can have two genres, can't you?
You can.
But yeah, I think it's it depends who it is as well, because I don't know if some of the ways in which Neville is frustrated sexually would be seen as dated now. I don't know. I don't think it is, but then I'm in my 50s, but I don't know if it would seem dated now. The way he talks about women and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the book. I love it to the pieces so much.
Let's see. Mixed Den of Books says, I've never participated in an event. 2024 may well be the year to change that. I would say yes. Sarah
I was
Countryman.
looking for his channel on because of when the very few times I go on Discord and then and he was chatting about his channel and I looked for it, but I was looking for something completely different. So I think I'm going to find it now, which is good.
Yeah, he's gonna come back. I don't know if the videos are there, but super talented artist, and hopefully Mick, you'll be back. Sarah Countryman, since I've started watching BookTube on a regular basis this year, I've read 3 times my goal. I'm up to
Excellent.
156 books this year. Great community. That's
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty
That's a
good.
lot.
Yeah.
The Garage Poets open mic. I like this banned book prompt. Maybe that will get me to pick my second book. Yeah, why not? Wonderful. Let's see. William says I'm hope to host my own reading event next year, even if it's just me. Why not? Mick is reading Jerusalem in February. Will catch me and maybe we could read some. Sarah says my first book for 2024 will be Genderqueer. Read banned books. I think I may do that in January or February. I just have to. I have to get it. Have you guys read Genderqueer at all?
No.
That's
Not yet.
the number one banned booked.
It was good. I mean, there was a lot of resources. It was at my library, so I picked it up. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I mean, I see why people have concerns about the book, especially in schools.
Yeah.
You know, but good resources throughout. If anything, it's a resource guide. But
yeah.
I thought it was okay.
And I'm not the type of person to shy away from stuff like that, but I have to really prepare myself when I'm going to do a video on that, because people will actively search for that title, and whether they know you or not, they will just throw hate in your comments. And I really need to armor up for that. That I'm not ready for. Am I ready to read the book? Yes. Am I ready for the hate to be projected at me? Not yet.
Well, you know what my problem with that is that it's really not my topic.
Yeah.
Typically. And what I don't want to do is read a book written for someone else and then come in from a different perspective and say, well, you know, it's not a good book because of this reason, because that community gets so much hate anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to give any ammunition to someone saying, well, see, this guy over here hates it too. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm just saying, like, you know, let the people who want to read it and like it.
Yeah.
You know,
I completely agree. Like, trust me, I'm not going to do a deep dive analysis. I'm just going to say why does it have to, you know, why should it be pulled from libraries, basically?
Well, it shouldn't. I mean, I have not done a banned books video. Well, I did do one on banned books, but I didn't post it because I said, no, it's just not good enough. So
yeah. But
it's hard because like everyone who wants to ban it is going to look at it and they're looking for ammunition.
Yeah.
On why you should ban books. You don't want to ban anything. So
correct.
Well, when I did a video on Mouse, I didn't know it was banned, and I did a video on about never mentioned the fact it was banned because I didn't realize it was, and it didn't even occur to me it would be banned. I thought it would be like, you know, because it has actually been used for education anyway. You know, certainly, and you know, it has been used for that reason. So the idea that it was banned didn't occur to me, and it's just really funny. I got this review and it even mentioned something that's quite important if you're going to talk about that book, but I just didn't know.
That's okay. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people don't know that a lot of the popular books have been challenged or banned in the past, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start that challenge this year.
It's amazing if you look at the history of banned books. It's like they banned that one.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
I think there's always somebody that wants to say something about what other people are doing, what they're reading and stuff. And I feel like you can never really appease everybody. So I feel like why even bother? So I feel like read your books. If people come into your comments, then they do. I feel like, especially being in the forefront, like on the camera and it being public eyes, you know, I think people are always gonna come for something, you know, pick at any little details. Like, you ever have somebody pick at something in your background, you know? It's just like, what's, you know, so I wouldn't shy away from a particular book, you know, and who's to say what book is for whoever. Like, when it comes to genderqueer, I mean, it's for whoever wants to pick it up, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's just a random sitting there, you know. So I wouldn't even be overly concerned, you know. And I feel like with our channels, it's what we choose to want to present.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like what I'm presenting, then don't come to
Don't watch. Don't watch. That's all. You don't have to like me.
Yeah.
Don't watch.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is, like, if you've been following the Moms for Liberty scandal,
I was going to say,
I'm just like laughing. I mean, you can't, if you wrote that into a book, it would be totally. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe these people are really just projecting.
That needs to be a movie, like a Lifetime movie or something coming up. And I actually did a video on my channel. It's like, I don't know, 1 minute and 25 seconds. So it didn't make the shorts feed, but I did something on that earlier this week talking about that. Yeah, totally hypocritical and hilarious. But think about that though, right? You have these conservative individuals going around talking about, hey, we don't want this in our school, conservative, old-fashioned values. Well, to me, as a person of color, I'm just going to be real of what exactly are old-fashioned values. So that's a question right there for me. But you know, they're hypocrites, and that's a really prime example with that lady Bridget Ziegler. You know, it's like you're talking about banning books. You're talking about books in public schools that your kids don't even go to, but you're constantly talking about all these values. We don't want this, we don't want this. And, you know, she can do what she wants behind closed doors. But the thing is, you're doing the exact opposite of what you're preaching. That to me is my issue. But yeah, video was funny. I think the whole story is absolutely hilarious. And I'm just like,
Yeah, I know.
Where's the popcorn?
Near me, the county in Virginia, who was written up in the Washington Post, and her mission in life is to ban a book a week. And to the Post, she says she's not going to stop. Every week, she says her basement is filled with disgusting books that she hates.
What an honorable goal.
Okay.
Okay, why don't you just read?
She must be really bored.
she buying these books? Patronizing. Okay, at least give me some money, buy my book, and then ban.
Reading these
Can I
books.
just say, Courtney, I really love.
Disgusting. I'm going
Good. I was going to say, Courtney, I love those videos you do where you cite someone's video and you comment on the video as we're watching it. Those videos are awesome.
We always have special commentary on the news. I'm like, why not put it on the internet? Why not talk about it?
Definitely. So yeah, so that's gonna be interesting year for sure. A lot of people are coming up with this one book for that question that we had.
Post some more.
A lot of people are mentioning the Elementals. The Elemental book is good for starter horror.
Nice. Oh, that's by McDowell.
Yes.
Actually, his Blackwater would also be an excellent starting place.
Yeah.
Big, but yeah.
Jim is going to be reading Lady Chatterley, first read of 2024. It's a good one.
It is a good one.
Yep.
But it's not as naughty as I thought it was going to be.
No. And
That's
female
conservative
empowered. That's why it was banned, because it was female empowered.
And
spoiler.
He was the wrong class in the British.
Yes. Shocking. Oh, let's see. Roy's back. Let's see. In the quota. Jess is here. Let's see. Looks like we caught up with all the comments. Cheers for that, Greg. I agree they get too much hate already. Yep. Let's see. Like everyone, I probably own too many books. I want to challenge myself to read more in 2024 than I did in 2023, but I have no idea where to start. Just start with something you feel like reading. That's all. Read what you like. What tips do you guys have for somebody that wants to get into reading a little bit more? Just like one overall tip.
Short books.
Short books.
Start with short books.
Yep.
Graphic novels.
Yeah. What else?
I'd also say one thing that changed my reading habits was just thinking about what do you actually do with your time. And there's loads of times that we waste. If you're aware of that, then you go, well, I could be reading then. And there's, I think everyone, because it's quite, it's human nature to just drift off and switch off sometimes. Well, when you're switching off, you could actually read something. So I think that helps.
For sure.
It actually, I'm guilty of this myself, is like set aside 2 hours a day where you just put your phone away. And don't pick it up for 2 hours, because it's just so easy. If I'm reading and my phone's by my side, I get a YouTube icon. Someone made a comment on your video, and stop reading to see what it is, and no, just put it in the basement or whatever room and just read for a hour or two and just put that phone away.
Yeah. I'm starting up my put your phone down in January to try and get some more reading time back. So I want to decrease my screen time by like 40%. I think I could do it. I did it last year. I think I could do it this year. Just like do not disturb
I have to start a challenge for myself, which is to try and make sure I pick up my phone once a day.
That's a better problem to have, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a much better problem.
That's a good problem to have.
Well, one thing I did that helped a lot with my phone is just turning off the notifications. So you really only pick it up when you want to be on your phone, not when something else is calling for you.
Right. For sure. Any other tips for somebody starting out with increasing reading or getting into reading?
Well, I actually think BookTube is quite good because stuff like events and read-alongs, it sort of reduces the pressure so you've got to actually love the book. Like just thinking like last year, a bunch of us read Lonesome Dove. We didn't all like it. Some people loved it. Some people had mixed feelings. Some people basically it wasn't for them. But knowing there's a whole community of people and you can read little comments and progress made it easier to read that was a great big chunk. So I think maybe have a look at the themes of events and stuff like that, or see if there's anyone to have a buddy read with. Then you're not alone.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a massive point about reading. It's a solitary activity, isn't it? And that's what puts a lot of people off because, nowadays, most activity, because even gaming is now mostly a joint thing where they do it online. And, most gamers, they don't actually do one-player games. They hardly ever do one-player games where they're just playing the game, the story of the game. They're online playing with their mates. And everything is like a social activity. So Roy's absolutely right. The BookTube can make a solitary activity a social activity, and that's why we love it. That's why we love BookTube. But it makes a huge difference to the actual experience of reading because then you've got someone to talk about it too, and someone to share it with, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I found even just the individual buddy reads I found have been very helpful for me in that way because they keep me, especially when you have like daily check-ins, like you're going to read a couple chapters a day and you have the regular, because it keeps you disciplined and you make sure you do where you might have gotten lazy that night and watched a sitcom instead. You make sure you get your reading done. And, I always say it's not that if you love reading, that sort of thing, it doesn't make it a chore. It just makes you make sure you set aside the time for that thing that you really enjoy,
Absolutely.
I used to surf the TV like crazy. And sometimes actually, I remember when I first got Netflix and like Amazon Prime, stuff like that, I'd spend like hours just putting things in a to watch later thing. Do you know what I mean? You'd spend like 3 hours just doing that. I mean, what a waste of time. Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good. 3 hours have gone. That's insane. But that's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I do a TBR list, and I have this huge TBR like on my Amazon. I want to buy someday, which is just huge, and it's like, I'll never buy them all, but it's there in case it goes on sale for $1.99 or something. After
it took you a while to create the list, right?
Pardon?
It took you a while to create the list, so that could have been reading time.
Well, you could say that every time I watch a BookTube video, I just add it to the list.
Yeah.
That honestly is one of the best tips that you gave me last year, Greg, for finding Kindle deals is to just add the books and then see when the deals pop in. And I'm telling you, like the first time I did it, I don't remember what book it was. It might have been Silver Nitrate or something, but a book that I really wanted went on sale for $1.99. I'm like, Greg, that is the best advice ever. It totally worked. It was so good. All right, let's see. Let's catch up with what some people are talking about. Jim says there's a lot of wasted time where I could be reading and I'm on my phone or watching YouTube or TV. I'm with Greg. Put the phone down. That's right. Deloise doesn't watch TV. Good for you. I don't watch that at all. William says I will decrease my screen time in January when I get my new watch. I need a watch, and now my phone is all I have. Cliff had to go. Let's see. Jess wants to know whose live is this on? It's on my live. Everybody's coming over to my house. Definitely watching BookTube increased my reading. And I also have lists of books to pick from, mostly BookTube recommendations. Love that, love that, love that.
Yeah.
Because it goes both ways, right? I get recommendations from all you, and then we would get recommendations in the comments from people. And it's just like it's like this circle of just BookTube fun.
Well, I'm reading a lot more crime now, and that's definitely thanks to Ollie. You know, he's definitely influenced me, and I'm loving it. I've never really read a lot of crime but last couple of years, but last year especially, I read some really cool stuff. So yeah, I'm well into that. I'm going to be reading loads of that next year. So
yeah, and I've eked into a little bit of fantasy this year, and I blame you, and I blame you over there, Dave, for just getting me interested back into fantasy a little bit.
Cool.
I read more garbage now, and that's thanks.
we all have a trash diet. Don't forget the trash.
It's true.
And manga. Ollie got me to try manga single-handedly.
Yeah. It's so good.
And I would never have read romance if it wasn't for the Autumn Amour event last year that there was Bookish Bryants.
Yeah, definitely.
And Garb August as well, I suppose. Now I'm all about the romance.
I still have not read a romance since joining BookTube.
What? Really?
Well,
I need to change that.
Jane Austen, which I kind of count as a romance. I mean, she's the creator of the genre, really. But
Roy is going to give you a recommendation.
No, stay strong. Don't do romance.
Don't read Coho. Read something, a Regency or something like that.
I did read a Coho
romance with other genres. I don't want to read just straight romance.
Yep, I foresee that in your future, Greg, for sure. Rainer reads stuff. Fantastic channel. Y'all need to check out Deb's channel. She's the one that has the She Shed. That's the book shed. Buddy reads have been my great joys of 2023 as a new booktuber. Hungry Brookworm says hello. Mindy's here. Inexhaustible wish list of every book I want to read someday. We all do. Let's see. I have so many BookTube friends now. I can easily pick through what I own to read because someone is always reading something I own but haven't read. That's the best. That's wonderful. Is when somebody announces a group read or a buddy read, and you're like, I have that on my shelf. I'm going in. It's so good. All right, let's see. We are into this an hour and 7 minutes. Is everybody good? Does anybody have to jet? Because if somebody has to drop out, feel free. I don't plan on going until maybe like another half hour.
Yeah.
We're not pulling a marathon here. All right, let's see. Let's keep on events a little bit because we've only scratched the surface. So
we have. There's so many events. Either today or tomorrow I'm doing my 24 plans, and I've been writing down all the events that I'm participating in, and it's just like huge. It's like how many events can I read? I mean, and some of them may not go off this next year. Who knows? But some of them will.
So, how many do you think you wrote down?
Well, I can tell you. I'll just give you my multi-month events.
Oh gosh!
I'm doing the BookTube Prize, which is sort of an event. 24 banned books in 24. Historathon, End of the World Book Club, my Shores of Religion project, all about Holly, the Vonnegut book group, and Gothic Horror, which I actually think is ending in February. But that's just my multi-month. That's not individual months.
Okay.
You are busy.
Hey, Greg.
What?
What's the sorry, I don't know. What's your Shores of Religion project?
Well, that's where I am reading through the 5 major religions. You have Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And I'm listening to the Great Courses, which just gives you a very high level introduction to the religion. You're not going to be an expert, but it's very good. And then I'm going to pick some of the scriptures for that religion and read that. And then I want to pick out some like fiction or autobiography that's related to that religion. Like I'm basically finishing up Buddhism now, and where I read the Dharmayapa, which is their holy text, supposedly quote from Buddha. I read Siddhartha and the Dharma Bums for fiction. And then I'm calling it shore as a religion because I'm looking at it as I'm from a boat onto a shore. I'm not getting into the weeds and getting really deep. But I just want to look at it and say, I have a good understanding of what that religion is. Speaking as a person who has no religion. Just...
Cool.
I think we'll end up touching on that when we talk about the censorship thing and banned books and stuff, because a lot of it's for religious reasons, isn't it? So
yeah.
we'll end up talking about that.
Here's an interesting comment. Aaron read a book, said, I definitely wasn't reading killer slug books before BookTube.
Well, you can't live without killer animals.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a Garbogish genre. Wonderful. All right. What other events are people looking forward to?
So we will have, speaking of Gub August, we will have Gub August 2.5 in February.
Yeah.
Write that down.
I haven't announced that yet, but I will be putting up an announcement video probably early January for that. So just a weekend where you have to read at least one trashy book.
Cool.
Okay.
Do I need to buy another 57 books for that, Ollie?
No, probably not. Probably read one of the 57 you haven't read.
I've marked that down on my calendar.
Nice. What else? So,
Horror
March of
Mayhem's
the
coming
Mammoth.
back, isn't it?
Go ahead.
Horror Mayhem.
Horror
You
Mayhem.
guys
Mayhem
want to
is
do Horror
back.
Mayhem?
With
We will-
the Bookish Bryants. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Is March
June on
Mystery
the Ring will
Madness
probably be
happening
back.
this year? Do people know?
I
Go ahead.
don't.
In the
I
past.
don't know.
Oh, March Mystery Madness I have not put down.
Uh-oh.
I know they're definitely not doing the fantasy one because Scott said he didn't think fantasy was like as good as a short form thing, so
Right.
he didn't want to do the fantasy one, which I can see that. It's not as much short form fantasy.
There is, but it's older.
Yeah.
It used to be, like Michael Moorcock and his Elric and Hawkmoon. Those were short little novels, often just collections of novellas. And those are actually my favorite fantasy books, rather than the door stoppers.
Oh my god! It's another. That's twice the doorbell's gone. I'm not going to knock that over this time.
I muted him. All right, so let's see. April, I'm probably going to do another little Agatha weekend, a little Agatha in April for people that have never read Agatha Christie. I think that went pretty well last year. I'm glad the Bookish Brands are going to be back for Horror Mayhem. June on the Range. July, BookTube at War will probably be back. Is that in July?
I don't know if it's going to happen again or not.
I don't know either.
Well, it should. It was kind of fun, wasn't it, for people that participated?
Yeah.
I
And
got
then
to cut down
August.
my book. I went overboard on BookTube with the war last year, so I got to tone it down.
Oh, yeah. And Crystal said, I'm planning on bringing back Week of the Weird in March. That's a lot of fun, too. That's a good one.
I nearly did that. That was good. That was a good idea. I just didn't. I was just reading too many things. I had about 2 books on the go, and for that, it's only like a week event, isn't it? So I didn't do it for that. But that was really cool.
I also go ahead.
I'm saying is I like these instead of a monthly event.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
I was about to say we need more weekly events, just so you're not like BookTube at War. I decided, like I said, try to read a book from every country that participated in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a realistic.
Yeah.
But if you had it a week, say on week 2, say read a book about a war, then it's a lot more focused.
Mm-hmm.
And
even just little chipper events that, like the Garbogus 2.5 or like a long weekend, something like that, like a week-long event. Those chipper events they just hit the right spot because it doesn't take up your whole month.
Yeah, that's been my hardest thing with the Historathon, because I love the material I'm reading and I love the idea of it and I love the Voxer group, all that sort of stuff. But a whole year is quite like hard to keep going. So I did peter off a little bit. I'm hoping next year I won't peter off as much for a Storathon, but I think it's because it's a year-long event. I think it definitely affects it.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
All right. How about any other events anybody wants to mention or promote? Anything like that?
Have to do this.
New events that people might be thinking about. Go ahead.
Faulkner in August.
Yes.
As
Yes.
I'm Dying. So it's actually a very good introduction to Faulkner if you have never read William Faulkner before. It shows his strengths as an inventive author. You know, struggling out of that confine of novels and breaking into this new realm. But it's not a huge problem, and it's not as complicated as Absalom, or The Sound of the Fury. So that's my plug for Alan.
Well, there's also your End of the World book club, which I think is really good. So last year we read 1984 and didn't we? And this year we'll carry on with Children of Men and whatever else comes up. But they're quite cool, post-apocalyptic books.
This year we've got Children of Men scheduled, and then Brave New World. It's a quarterly book club. And the second two we have not picked out yet.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I'm in that book club. Let's see. Mark says, yeah, but in theory, you only need to read 4 books for Historathon. Crystal says, Old School April is a ton of fun, hosted by Kelsey at Slime and Slashers. Bookish Brian's, we lost power, but I still have unlimited data. Coda says, I also own As I Lay Dying and haven't read, so you're on, Greg. I picked that up at a Kindle deal this summer when I picked up Absalom, so I'll be in on that one as well.
Coda, if you want to join the Voxer group, send me a message at GEEMONT235, and I will add you to the Voxer group. It's dormant right now, but if you come back in August, I will forget to add you by then. So get me while I can remember.
And maybe by August, Coda will have his channel up. I keep pushing him. You need to get your channel up. Mark says, go ahead.
Sorry, can I just add to what Mark said? Because he is right that Vin says, and we all say, that you only have to read 1 book per quarter to do the Storathon. But it's just, as a host, I feel like I have to read more than that. But if you want to get involved, there's only 1 book per quarter, so it is just 4 books for the whole year if you want to read a history book. So he is right.
For the quarterly, you're really participating, and you don't
say again.
Read 1 for the quarter or any quarter. Just pick one of your favorite time period, and don't necessarily have to commit to all 4 quarters.
Yeah. It's just getting people into history books.
Yeah. I mean, I've only picked out a few because I know I'm on the BookTube prize, and I know at least one of them is going to fit the final quarter one. I just don't know what that is yet.
Mark says Dr. November will happen again.
Yes, it will.
Mystery and Mayhem. Jim says, Greg, should we mention the plans for February with Mark and Randy?
Oh, yes. I have that down. Right now, my title is Holmes is Where the Heart Is. I don't know if that's going to be the final title. That's where we're going to read Sherlock Holmes in February.
Oh, I like that.
They do have 4 prompts. I'm trying to remember all the prompts. Read a Sherlock Holmes novel, read a short story collection, read a pastiche, and Jim can. There's another prompt, but I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Oh, that'll be fun. Good. So something nice for February.
I've never read a Sherlock Holmes story, so it's about time.
I don't know if, as a host, I said if you read a Sherlock Holmes story, you're good. I don't necessarily say you're going to have to read a whole collection of his.
I've got the first one, Study in Scarlet. I deliberately bought the first one because I thought start where he started. But
yeah, that's a good place to start.
Nice.
Yeah.
Coda says he has set up his channel. He has 8 subscribers with 0 content. Y'all should go subscribe. Maybe I'll win a record for having the most subscribers with no content. Let's see. Randy Reyes here. I'm sorry?
What's Coda's channel name so I can give him a 9th subscriber without having any content?
I think it's your BookTube bestie.
Your BookTube bestie. Okay.
Yeah. Randy is here.
Hey,
Jim says the last prompt is legacy. Read a character inspired by Holmes.
Okay.
Randy says it's never too late to start with Sherlock Holmes. Crystal says I finally read a Sherlock Holmes story this year and enjoyed it. Cool.
But that will
Lots of
also tie in
Yeah.
with that event I found out about yesterday, Filmtastic February.
great- yeah.
I can't remember. I think it's Anne someone created it. I'll have to look it up. But I wrote a comment on her page saying I was gonna get involved and I'll do a video about it. So yes, that sounded like a cool idea. So because there's been so many film adaptations of Sherlock Holmes, it could tie in with that as well, couldn't it?
Definitely.
Was it Anne Novella, maybe?
I don't think it was. No, it was someone I didn't know. So they just popped up on my recommended, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And then they talked about I think it was anyway, but it definitely wasn't Anne Novella. But I think it was someone I didn't know. But yeah, it sounds cool. Like books related to films, you know.
Awesome. All right, so I think we're ending all my prompts, all the topics that I came up with. So let's finish up with let's see. Oh wait, Mark has a question. Has anyone else got any interesting solo projects like Greg's religion one? I'm just doing that Jerusalem book, but that's not really a project. That's just how I'm going to be reading it. But is anybody doing anything on their own this year for channel development, self-development? Go ahead, Roy.
Well, I'm going to do Giant Ape Reel, where I'm going to read the King Kong book and a bunch of other King Kong related copies and stuff like that.
Nice.
So it'll be like my Cleopatra one. If I'll sort of say I'm doing it myself, but if people want to jump in, they can.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, so Roy, do you have the original novelization?
Yes.
Is that available, or is that something that's completely out of print now?
It's not as available as a lot of Edgar Wallace stuff, but you can get it. In fact, there's a fancy edition has been brought out with like lots of background stuff and photos and original text and stuff like that. But I think you can still get it.
I have a Delphi ebook collected works of Edgar Wallace. I wonder if it's in there.
Yeah, it could be, but there's different rights, I suppose, because of the character and because he wasn't the sole writer.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, it's a complicated one. It came from the page. Andrew did a really good video about it.
Well, that's what made me want to pick up that original.
Yeah.
But
I've got that, but things like the novelization of the film Conga, which is filmed in Crawley. There's a giant ape menaces a shopping centre in Crawley, which is Brits will know that's not a super exciting proposition. So. So
I've got a book about the making of the 1976 King Kong film, Roy.
Oh yeah, I got that. Yeah. I was really into that. I actually think that film's quite good.
I remember that. That was a good one.
Jessica Lange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark says, I'm going to try and make my way through Edgar Wallace fiction and nonfiction. Should take a few years. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's awesome. Go ahead.
I was still doing my Ray Bradbury deep dive, and I'm going to try and I don't know if I'll be able to do it, to be honest. But I'm going to try and reignite my folk tales and fairy tales thing, which I did a big announcement of it and then read hardly anything for it. So I'm going to try and do it this year.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I have maybe I might try it this year. I'm not sure if I'm mentally ready yet, but there's this huge book I bought years ago at an art show or an art expo, I guess. And it's, like the history of the artist. And I think I was inspired by Read by Fred's video. I think it was like a yearly wrap up where he said he read a science book or something and it took him the whole year. And it got me thinking, those coffee table books where it's about art, photography, whatever, and there's just so much text in it and it's just there. Like you look at the pictures, but it's just there. And I feel stupid because I saw the art show. I talked to the people there and everything, and I bought the book, but I never read it. And I feel like I would be smarter if I read it. So might try to read it, but
good.
We'll see how it goes.
You'll be just fine. Just fine. Just make time for it. That's the big thing. And remember to do it.
Yeah,
That's
well,
Yeah. You know how stuff gets
We'll see how it goes.
You'll be awesome at it. Anyone
Thank
else?
you.
Anyone else have any plans, any things that they want to get accomplished in 2024? Solo projects.
I have one. I'm not committed to it yet, but I have this. I have yeah, here I have this. I've read part of it. So it's The Road to Reality by Roger Penrose.
Okay.
It's a lot of math and physics. And I know I'll never get to it unless I do something like this. So I figured maybe I would just read 5 pages a day.
Yeah.
And it's heavy, right? It's heavy stuff. So just do 5 pages, like each little mini sub chapter is about 5 pages. And if I do that, it won't impact the rest of my reading schedule. And by the end of the year, I'll be done with it. So I think that's the only way I'll ever get it done.
I love that. Do you know what we should do? I'm reading The Scientist. I'm doing a buddy read with Coda. It's a massive nonfiction book all about the choices that we make and whether we have free will and where our behaviors come from. And it's literally a chunk. And I think he's on page 80. I haven't started it yet, but I want to do the same thing, like 10 to 15 pages a day. We should have like a nonfiction check-in just to keep each other on tab, for everybody that's reading completely outside their genre, to make sure people stay on task, like a little support group.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And the other thing that's not a bookish thing, well, it is a bookish thing, but it's not a book, and that's me and Dave are going to be doing a fortnightly show, aren't we, Dave?
Yep. Fortnightly.
You need to explain to all of us Yanks, because we're like, fortnightly. Are they going to be on 4 times a week?
He needed to explain it to me originally.
I know. We don't talk like that over here. Every other week.
Every other week.
Yeah.
There we go.
Twice monthly. I'm not kidding. Y'all need to break it down for us. Sometimes, Ollie, when you talk about your local markets that you go to, and I'm like, your audience is in America. Break it down for us. Also, Ollie, I'm calling you out. You're going to hit that 30,000 this weekend, I think. Are you going to do it before?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't think I will. So I'm like 90 away.
Maybe you'll get that 90 from this. We've got 66 awesome people watching this live stream right now.
You got 66 people watching.
Wow, we got 66 people watching.
Really cool.
67 right now. Yep. There are a lot of cool people in the comments, in the audience, that are checking our show out. Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
I think it's going to happen. If it happens on New Year's, that's the best. But I think it's going to happen before the end of the year. That's just
we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I can't believe it. It's ridiculous.
But it's ridiculous, and you brought so many people back to the joy of reading, which is awesome. Let's see. William wants to get better camera equipment next year so we could film birds better. Gareth and Dave have a great live stream last night. I'll be tuning in every fortnight. I'm going to start saying fortnight in my vocabulary. Yeah. What's the name? Do you guys have a title for your show?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
It's called Is This Thing On?
Oh, okay. I like it. I like it too.
That's a good one.
Gareth came up with that, but I thought it was genius.
Love it. Let's see. Shekshi Lady's here. She's like, I want to learn to edit my videos. It just takes time, and you just got to make time and keep practicing. That's the best thing. And don't over edit. You do you. You make the videos that you want to watch. That's what I say. All right. Ollie needs to offer up a few Venus videos to push him over. Yeah. You need Venus shorts, and you'll be good.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
All
well,
right.
the only thing about cat shorts
tomorrow morning
I've noticed is that people subscribe to your channel, and then I think they unsubscribe a little while later and say, "Oh, this is a book channel. This is not a cat channel."
Yeah.
But I am putting cats in my wrap up videos because people seem to like it when I just throw a cat in.
I mean, Watson makes the appearance every now and then, but I'm like, he comes with it's the package deal. You get me and the dog, and a turkey if you saw my short from yesterday.
The subscribers thing's funny because it goes up and down all the time. One day, I can't remember, how long ago it was, but one day I lost 6 in a day, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's all going wrong! The whole thing's falling apart." But obviously, they came back. But
And
it's
then you
just,
get them back. It's no scratch.
don't look at it. Don't look at it.
No, that's YouTube cleaning out the bots.
Yeah,
probably.
for sure. And the fake accounts and all that.
Well, I hadn't said anything controversial. Didn't like start talking about something that would upset anyone. I don't think. That's when it really starts playing around, isn't it?
It is. Well, Gareth, I didn't lose subscribers when I talked about being not religious, and I thought I'd lose a few from that one, but didn't.
And you were bouncing off mine, weren't you? And I thought I might have risked something, but that doesn't seem to have ruffled too many feathers. Which is right. I think it's because we didn't go too. We were quite even-handed, weren't we?
We were, and by this time, Gareth, people who watch our channel know what we are anyway, even if we don't say it out loud.
For sure. Definitely. All right, everyone. Well, I think let's just wrap it up with what are you planning? What's a resolution that you're going to make for your channel in 2024? What are you going to do? Are you going to read more? Are you going to read more widely? Are you going to cut back? Are you going to put up more content? What are you planning to do? Me personally, I'm keeping the same thing. I'm all right. I'm not changing anything.
Well, what I have found is that individual book review videos don't do well.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they just not very popular.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go on a topic, a book related, then those tend to do very well. And I have a couple of topics that I want to cover. So I'm thinking of trying to do like a topic every week, but that's kind of hard to do. But maybe maybe make a few and see what happens if they take off or if they die on the vine like individual book reviews.
I like it. All right.
I think my experience with individual book reviews is they can do well, and sometimes they do well over time, but certainly not all of them do well. So I've had some that have done well and consistent. I've got one that consistently gets a lot of views, but I agree that many of them perform less well than other videos. I can't explain why some do well and some don't.
Well, I think it's that I don't read a lot of new books that are the top of the charts, really popular, that everyone wants to learn about. I'm reading the books that they were written 20 years ago. Like, why are you reading that? So.
What else? Somebody else? What do you want to add or take away or do differently in 2024?
One of the things I think I'm going to end up doing, because it's kind of in my back of the mind kind of plans, and that's to do theme stuff that ends up getting joined together. So because I'm doing banned books, I'm going to do some stuff on censorship.
Cool.
And because I'm doing the history stuff, I'm going to do stuff on how religions changed with the Reformation and how culture and art changed with the Restoration, and look at Civil War, stuff like that. So I'll be looking at kind of things that are bouncing off the books that I'm reading as well. So I want to do that.
Awesome. Who else?
I'm going to try to film more. That's my main goal this year. Is I've never had any kind of schedule.
Okay.
And I don't film nearly as much as I want to, and I find that I've gotten better this year. When I started the channel, I just filmed once a month. It was once a month wrap up, and I realized that's not really a good way to run a channel. So I've got much better, but I want to get a little more. I realize the more you do it, the easier and quicker it is. And if I don't do one for a couple weeks, then it's just a little
rusty.
More of an effort to get back. Yeah, exactly. You get rusty pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so I just want to be more regular about it.
Good. What else?
Yeah, I think for me too, it's going to be consistency, not necessarily more, but just more consistently.
Yeah, consistency is key for sure. Courtney, what do you got going on in 2024?
I think I'm going to do more about the same. I'm working on the behind the scenes being a little bit more drawing a blank on the words I'm trying to use today. Just being a little bit more efficient. I feel like I take a little bit too much time in producing my videos and running around and doing stuff. So just getting that, being more consistent and,
Nice.
and producing. But yeah, I like the way things are going thus far.
Yeah. Ollie, how about you? Are you changing anything? Adding anything?
So not changing anything visible, I don't think. I think everything will probably run in roughly the same way, but probably a bit like Courtney and Celeste. It's more about making it more sustainable and easier for me in the background to keep producing the same amount of content that I'm producing at the moment.
Right.
And probably trying to be a bit more joined up with things and get better. The thing I'm terrible at is like promoting videos outside of YouTube, like on other social media platforms and things like
People
that.
promote videos outside YouTube.
No, well, I don't. Apparently, you're supposed to.
I'm really not on any other social media platform, so I can't promote.
Yeah, I don't get a lot. Sometimes I'll do it on Twitter or Instagram, but maybe I'll get like a couple extra views, but nothing life changing. How about you, Roy? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to add to that. I post mine on Instagram. That's really the only other social media app I use. I do get a little traffic from there. I mean, I post the link in stories to make it easy, and not a ton of traffic, but I do get some.
Yeah. How about you, Roy? What's going on in 2024?
Well, just on that, I think people who are into other social media platforms, they're just not going to watch YouTube videos. If they were into YouTube videos, they'd spend their time on YouTube. You know, I think you could make a video about the subject that's absolutely dearest to their hearts, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, that's nice," and they probably wouldn't actually watch it. In my experience. But in terms of what I'm going to do, the first few months I'm going to be streamlining down, because otherwise I just won't get my master's finished. So in order to do some academic stuff that got shunted because last year had stuff happening, I'll probably be doing one a week as well as Jenny's poems. So that's basically two.
Nice.
But keeping it, regular. But I did think, I'll have to bin BookTube completely till I've done this dissertation, but I think that would just make me resent it. So I'm going to ration myself. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And plus, sometimes doing videos and creating content could be like a stress reliever too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I do enjoy it. And if I'd rather make one good one than sort of five indifferent ones.
Yeah.
But like I've got to spend a bit more time on other things. So that's how it's going to be.
Well, you try and schedule ahead. Scheduling ahead means that you can relax a bit and not worry about putting them in. If you schedule ahead up until May, you can relax loads.
Indeed.
Gareth, are you scheduled out till 2025? Yep. Have you gone into 2025?
Yeah, the 100 album challenge goes into 2025.
I love that. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. Batch filming. Yep. Mr. Jim says, I'm with Dave. I need to film more and develop a better routine. Yeah. And sticking to the routine. You can have a routine, but sticking to it. That's the kicker sometimes.
Yeah.
Robert Hall is here. Oh, my favorite booktube peeps all in one place. See, that's it. We aim to deliver. Well, Celeste, did I get to you? Any major change things that you're going to be doing?
Well, aside from reading the art show book, not really.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, we started with you. All right.
Yeah,
awesome. All right. So does everybody have plans for New Year's, hanging out at home, watching the ball drop? How do you guys handle it over in the UK? What happens?
Well, I've got a gig, so
Yeah, you're playing.
yeah.
Yeah, we have fireworks on the Thames. That's our equivalent of your watching the ball drop.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to stay up. You all know I go to sleep very early, but we'll see. It's my brother and sister-in-law. They got married on New Year's Eve, so they always have some type of like a little soiree, and then we come home to celebrate with Watson at like 11:30, and then I go right to bed.
I actually like to just go to bed early. I don't care. I mean, I think there was an event in my neighborhood with the neighbors. They were scheduling a New Year's Eve thing. And I went to it last year, but a lot of them took a cruise. last 2 weeks ago, and they've all come down with COVID.
Oh God.
So I know New Year's event with the neighbors is put on hold because you don't want to go see someone with COVID.
It's a COVID
Yeah.
party.
I'll be totally happy to go to bed at 11.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, everybody. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap this up. Does anybody have anything else they want to add or chit chat about?
No.
We're all good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Holidays.
Everyone. Happy New Year to
Year.
everyone in the comments. Wishing you lots of great books, going outside your normal genre. And, you know, if you're thinking about starting a channel, 2024 could be the year for you.
It could
All
be.
right. We're all going to say goodbye and see everyone in the new year.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Everyone.
Thanks so much for watching. If you're watching on the replay, we're sorry that you couldn't make it live with us, but enjoy, and we'll see you in our next videos. Make sure to like and subscribe, everybody that's here, including
Yes.
myself. All right. Bye, everyone. We'll see you
Bye.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.